Hey you guys, what's going on? My name is Ryrie the Writer. Okay, let's talk about Marvel, because I'd love to get back into the entertainment topics. Okay, so I saw on my TikTok that Disney had released that not only will they be making a Fantastic Four movie, but they were also debating on who the Silver Surfer would be, because it was Disney was deciding between doing a male version of Silver Surfer, which is the Norrian Radd, the more iconic character, or a female version of the Silver Surfer. I'm getting all the information right here on my computer, so let me pull it up. So I'm going to show you guys like a whole article and everything. Yeah, a Norrian Radd. But anywho, Disney has already released, it's been announced that they will not be doing a Silver Surfer male version. Instead, they have casted actress Julia Garner to play the female version of Silver Surfer for the upcoming Fantastic Four film. The internet got mad. The internet has been upset about this. One, for the casting, and another one for opting out of doing the standard version of Silver Surfer, which is Norrian Radd, a guy. Then, you know, Disney deciding to go the female route. And one thing I will say about all this is the last Fantastic Four movie that was decent. I don't know. And I'm not even going to talk about all the cartoons and all that stuff. But the last one that I feel like was pretty decent was the Fantastic Four, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, that came out in 2007. That was a long time ago. It's 2024. It's almost been 20 years since 2007, so it's been a very, very long time. And I say that to say, in terms of typical non-MCU fans, I'm talking about your most generic MCU fans, do they know who Norrian Radd is? Do they know who Silver Surfer is? Sure, they know the image of a silver man on a surfboard, you know, surfing around the cosmos, going around Earth. Sure, there's that, but in terms of knowing generally who this character is, the general audience does not know who this character is. Besides from that flick from 2007, and that's been a long time. Even if you were to think about the adults of today, millennials at most were young adults to my age, I'm the younger millennial, to children when that movie came out. So we were so young. Same thing with Gen Z. They were like children in infancy, you know, beyond that. I understand what Disney's doing. Like, I see what they're doing. Kind of. I can kind of see what they're doing. It was also mentioned that, like, this version of upcoming of the Fantastic Four that is coming out, they were going to do an alternate version of Fantastic Four, but this is all speculation. This is all allegedly. We don't really know what's going to come out until we get the trailer, until we have articles, until interviews and press and things have been released. But so far we're just getting side stories and Reddit and he said, she said. But from what we've gathered is that Fantastic Four is going to be like in an alternate universe. So it's not going to be your standard Fantastic Four. It's going to be like an alternate version of these characters. But regardless of that, to do a female Silver Surfer, opting instead of doing the male version, I can kind of, like, I'm saying, I can kind of see why a little bit, but at the same time I'm going, if we're rebooting for the next phase of Marvel, wouldn't it just make more sense to just wholly reboot Fantastic Four instead of doing like an alternate vein or alternate, like, you know, limb of Fantastic Four and just do Fantastic Four and just brace for all those other characters involved in the Fantastic Four universe, with them being in New York. You know what I'm saying? Instead of opting for, her name is Shalla Bal. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but Shalla Bal is Norrian Radd's like love interest from the planet Zenlaw. I believe that's what it's called, Zenlaw. But instead of just going through all those hoops to find the one female version of the main character, why not just do the main character? Then, once we've developed this story, you could bring her on afterwards. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking about this for like a little bit before I wanted to come on here and talk about it on the video. And I had to think about this. So let's think about Robert Downey's character, Stark, for Iron Man, right? Iron Man, the first film, we got introduced to all his comrades, the relationships, his security, him becoming the hero. But we all like eventual love interest, which eventually is his wife, and he has a child with her, and their child becomes another version of Iron Man, right? But doing so, like doing what they're doing with Fantastic Four, is almost like the equivalent of doing a movie in the MC universe, but opting out of Robert Downey Jr.'s character, which was Stark, Tony Stark, being Tony, because we want a female character, so we're gonna jump straight instead. But what about Tony? Because without Tony Stark's character, we would have no, she wouldn't even exist. We couldn't even get to their child, who does become the eventual version, like a variant of Iron Man, right? You guys see what I'm saying right here? So I see what Disney is doing, and it's all, like I said, we don't know what the eventual Fantastic Four movie is going to look like, because nothing has been released. Even if it is from an alternate universe where I can see where they're going with that, but it seems so much more work than just sticking to the standard story instead of going the whole alternate universe route. It just feels like so much work and so much backtracking, and it's same thing I've just been thinking about like this as well. Having so many alternate universes, and we have Earth 616, then you get other versions of Earth, and we're just deviating further and further into this tunnel. And me personally, I just want them to kind of just lay off on that and just scoot back and go back to the story. And if we just focus on Fantastic Four instead of alternate universes and everything else, you'll find that just the story alone of the Fantastic Four, there's so many great stories in there as well, especially as we're like ramping up. I don't think they've announced it, but I know we're ramping up for the upcoming Spider-Man flick that will also be out. And since I know this upcoming Spider-Man flick, I think it was announced that Peter Parker would be doing more street action stuff, which he should have been doing from the jump, but I digress. And if any of you guys are like any comic book junkies out there, you would know that Peter Parker, especially when he was starting off as becoming like the superhero, his first interactions with superheroes were with the Fantastic Four. Like the Thing especially. Him and the Thing have a really great relationship. So there's just, I don't know, it just seems like a lot to me. And I was just thinking about it. I was just like, Shalla Bal, Norrian Radd's love interest from the planet Zenlaw. She's also a herald of Galactus. So I can see that as well. But it's just like, I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, the internet has been very, very upset with the casting. And I've gone through the internet. Firstly, I had to look up Shalla Bal because I wasn't really too familiar with her. I'm familiar with the Silver Surfer story because I had a comic book on him when I was a child, because I actually had the action figure of him. And like back in the day, I don't know if they do it anymore. If you were to buy a MCU action figure, it would come like in the back of the packaging with like a really small tiny comic of like the first issue of that character. So I would buy Spider-Man, Doc Ock, I would buy all these like, you know, toys. And before I would even play with the toys when I was a little girl, I would go back and read the comics. But so that's what I'm saying. I already knew about Norrian Radd. Like I knew his backstory. But Shalla Bal, I had to go back and like do some research. But looking at her pictures on Google, because Google is for free, and looking at her renditions in the comic books, so far what I see is a young woman. Of course she's built, because like that's comics back in the day. Like everyone has to look magnificent because you know, you're a superhero. But looking at the comic book rendition of her, she has black hair, she's built, she has like green eyes, she has a pretty like stern, strong face. Of course she's beautiful. So there, you know, there's a look to her. She has high cheekbones. Then I had to go back and I looked at Julia Garner. So I mean, I'm looking at her right now. So I do recognize her from Ozark. And I think it was she played Anna as well in a Netflix movie. But more so I recognize her from Ozark because she did a great job in that. And she's a great actress. Like, let me not steal that from her. That shine. She absolutely deserves that. But looking at her, she's a very petite girl. She has great cheekbones. She has a strong, strong face. Could I see her playing Shalla Bal? Yes, I could see that. And like, I'm gonna show you guys this picture right here I found off Google. It's a picture of her with like a snake necklace. And her hair is slicked back. Like, you know, just minus the curly hair. Because like the makeup team and costume design, they're going to change the way she looks regardless. But just looking at her face alone, she has a very strong face. And with the face like that, she's very beautiful. With a face like that, I could see her being a very memorable character. So she has a look. She does have a look. I was trying to imagine her with like dyed black hair, because she has to have black hair for this character. The only thing I'll say is if she's going to be in this role, because she's very, very petite. Superheroes are known for being a little bit tall or a little bit big, or just having like a type of physique. And that's one of the things I have to think about as well for Disney. Disney has been slacking in that area with their superheroes. They've allowed them to kind of not put emphasis on their physical, I'm trying to be nice about it, their physical like ratio. And just being put together, just being built, right? And I had to go back to the Black Panther movie, Wakanda Forever. A lot of those actors, no offense, weren't in shape. They were okay looking, but they weren't cut the way they should be cut. Not like a Chris Hemsworth type of cut, or Christian Bale Dark Knight. Like, I'm in the gym every single day, I'm cut. You know what I mean? Or a Hugh Jackman, I'm Logan getting out that water. Like, I am built for this cut. I want to see that kind of cut. But for her, I don't know. If they don't mess around with that CGI type-ish, and she gets in shape, she got time. Because I was reading in one of the articles, they don't begin filming. Let me see right here. I'm gonna read the article to you guys too. But they don't set filming for this. Production will begin this summer. And the film is set to bow on July 25th, 2025. So they got time. It's April right now. She got a couple months. Maybe she's already known about this. But if Julia Garner really gets tore up cut, I'm talking about Wonder Woman type cut. Like, she just does it. Like, she gets in shape. Like, she really just gets her body built for this. Because like I said, she has the face already. She does have a really pretty face. And imagining her with black hair, I can kind of see something. I can see something. But if she really looks like a superhero, people might be a little bit less mad. Granted, like I said, it would have made more sense for them to do the Norrian Radd version, and if they didn't do all the different timelines and universes in the MCU. Like, that needs to just die. Like, Thanos is gone. I know it's an ongoing thing in the MCU comics, but it's just getting old. We just need to just move on to something else. Especially if we're leaning towards the X-Men, Fantastic Four, on the Street Fighter, Spider-Man. If they're building out a new Avengers team, which I guess, at this point, might as well just bring in Squirrel Girl. Y'all need to look it up. Look up who Squirrel Girl is. I'm not even capping. She actually beat Thanos. You think I'm joking? I'm not even joking. Like, MCU is wild. And I'm a fan too, but that was wild when I saw that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just, if we're leaning in a new direction of X-Men, MCU, I can see something. I can see something. But yeah, let me read you guys this article. I know you guys are probably expecting me to be mad about this, and I just, this might even be sadder for me to even say. I think I care less about MCU than I did 10 years ago when I was like young, super young, when I was coming straight out of like high school, than I do about it now. And I would say it's because of Disney Plus, the commercialization of MCU, how it's strayed from just being about comics and now about profit, and like the butchering of stories, the gender swapping of characters. Black Widow was a mess. That was bad. That was really bad. Then you get to the Marvels. I'm gonna stick with that too. Marvels was horrible. Same thing with Ant-Man. Ant-Man was just garbage. That was just, the CGI is bad. I watched it again. I was like, oh yeah, this is garbage. This is really trash. But yeah, I care less and less about MCU because in my head, I'm gonna go, I just instinctively go, MCU, Disney is going to ruin it. Whatever they're going to do, it's going to be bad, because what we've gotten for the past couple years has been bad. It's been bad. It's just been bad. Secret Invasion was bad. It really was. It was bad. The best thing that's come out for the past 2 phases of MCU, in my humble opinion, has been Loki. And that was great. Other than that, everything else has just been, Eternals wasn't too bad either, but could have been better. Shang-Chi, it could have been better. Thor, Love and Thunder, what was that? It's just, so I don't have any more expectations for Marvel anymore. The same way I've drifted 100% from Star Wars, from Lucasfilm. If they drop a movie and I hear chattering about it, I might go see it. But will I go see it on my own and invest my money? No, because I've been burned way too many times. But yeah, let's get into the article. The article is called "The Fantastic Four Julia Garner Joins Marvel Studios as the Shalla Bal version of Silver Surfer." Okay, I'm like, Disney, if you keep playing these games. And see, just looking at her photo right here, if she had black hair, black eyebrows, and she was beefed up, she was really swole, her body was cut. Like, I'm talking about abs. Like, and we went back to that old school version of superheroes. I'm talking about Chris Hemsworth. We get back to that, like Tony Stark, the first Iron Man, when Robert Downey Jr. was cut in the first one. If this woman gets cut and they write a really great script, this could be something, but I don't know. It's Disney. Okay, it goes with the four. Oh wait, pause. Let me get a little coconut water. I don't want to be dehydrated out here. If you're watching this, go get some water. Stay hydrated. You need to do that. Get some coconut water. It's really good for you. Okay. With the 4 actors set to play the iconic members of the super team, Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four has its sights set on who will play Silver Surfer. And that's what I'm saying. They were debating between, I can't remember the black actor. I'll put a picture of him right here. I heard they were debating between Julia Garner and that actor, and they went with her. And the actor is good too. He played in Get Out. I can't remember his name. But he has a really smooth, I'm gonna say, he has a smooth, sexy voice. And he has a presence to him. He could have made I'm not even a cap. He wouldn't have been a good Silver Surfer either. I'm not even a cap. I like his voice, but in terms of does he look like Silver Surfer, he does not either. And I'll just say it out here too. Like, I gotta be honest right now. Both castings for the Silver Surfer, the female and the male version, which is bad. It just, and as I said, I'm giving Julia Garner a lot of just grace with this because she can transform. But the male version of the actor who they were trying to pick, that was not Silver Surfer either. That, and it's a lot of like race swapping. It's a lot of that kind of stuff. And as you guys know, who's followed me for a very long time, how I feel about race swapping. Characters that were made back in the day who were designed as white, I would prefer for white actors and actresses to play those characters. And if you want more representation, especially of more black people, create black characters. They did that with Spider-Man. They made Miles Morales. Miles Morales has not been around since the beginning of time. He's actually a recently new variant of Spider-Man that they actually created. If they can do that over there in Sony, then MCU can just play around and just do that. They want more black people, make more black characters. Like, they own MCU. They can do that. They did that with Miss Marvel. Right? When they made her. She wasn't around forever. I think they created Ms. Marvel back in like 2011, 2014 maybe. She hasn't been around forever. But they wanted an Indian character. You know? I don't know if she's Indian or Asian, but they wanted that. They wanted that look. They can do the same thing with black people. Stop making us everybody. Or switching out people to make us like involved in films. But anyway. It looks like they're going with one of the town's biggest rising stars. Okay, so deadline that Emmy winner Julia Garner is set to play the iconic comic book character in Marvel Studios. Okay, let me see. Then Fantastic Four, Pedro Pascal will play Richard Reed, aka Mr. Fantastic. Dang, I gotta be honest too if I'm reading this. I'm gonna go through the names first. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, aka Invisible Woman. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, aka Human Torch. And Ebon Moss as Ben Grimm, aka The Thing. Okay, let's do a pause right there. I'm probably gonna piss you guys off, but it is what it is. I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather just be honest. Okay, so let me look at this. Pedro Pascal as Richard Reed. As Reed Richards, I mean. Bad casting. And not that I don't like Pedro Pascal. I think he did great in Mandalorian. Like, he is Mando. That is his character. He has the voice down, the acting, fighting. He was that. Pedro Pascal, he did great in Game of Thrones. He was also in The Last of Us. And I questioned that up until episode 1 was released on HBO Max, or now it's Max. And one being that Pedro was playing a white man from the South. And I gotta say it with my whole chest. He was playing a white man from the South as Joel from the video game. Does Pedro Pascal look like Joel? Kind of, a little bit. But could they have picked a white guy from the South to play the character? Sure. Did Pedro Pascal do a great job in that role? He did, and he sold me. So I let it go. I let it go. I wasn't going to be that stern on him. For Reed Richards, and let me just go on here right now, since I'm right on Google. I'm gonna put it up on the screen too. This is Reed Richards from the comic books. I'm not even like just, you know, just saying stuff just to be saying stuff. What I consider Pedro Pascal as the best actor for playing Reed Richards. But I consider him the absolute best actor for this role. And the answer is no. Why? Because Reed Richards, this might piss off people, but I just gotta be honest, is a white man. And he has certain features from the comics. And he has certain features. Does Pedro Pascal, does he fit that entirely? Does he have that look? And I'm not even talking about Pedro's acting ability. He has great acting ability. He's a very dynamic player. He's a very dynamic actor. He can do a lot. But is he the best person I would have casted as Reed Richards? And the answer is no. And that's just me being completely 100% honest, because I don't want to lie to you guys on this channel. So I don't agree with the casting. But at the same time, I don't own the MCU. This is owned by Disney. So Disney is going to cast whoever they want to cast. It is what it is. I'd rather just speak my truth. Is he going to play a phenomenal version of Reed Richards? Sure. Because he's a great actor. But in terms of what he looks like, does he look like the comic book character? No, he does not. But Disney is far from that. They're far removed from picking actors and actresses that mirror what we've been introduced to for decades in the comics. But that's because Disney is pushing this DEI, which I don't agree with. And like I said before, if you want more diversity, you want more inclusion, you want to see people with disabilities, you want to see different variations of people, different looks, create new characters. Okay. Vanessa Kirby, I can see it. I can see it. Because let me look her up on Google right here. I'm going to put a picture of her. Vanessa Kirby. Yeah, she looks like Sue Storm. I can see it. She's 35 though. But if this Fantastic Four is off of a vein, and this is a different version of Earth, then it could just be a different variation of Sue Storm. So I guess it doesn't matter. But does she look like Sue Storm? I can see it. Why not? She got a look. She got a look. Let me see. Joseph Quinn. Let me type his name in real quick. Joseph Quinn. Yeah. You see how old he is? He's 30. Okay. Yeah, he's really young. 30's young. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. He could possibly do it. You know, I could see that possibly. Doing the Human Torch. Let me type in the Human Torch. Let me make sure I remember what he looked like. Human. I'm gonna put it on the screen too. Human Torch. From the comics. Because the Human Torch in the comics has blonde hair. He has blonde hair and like blue eyes. So yeah, I mean, if you dye his hair. If you dye his hair, possibly. Actually, would I have cast? No, you know, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. This is, I don't know. I don't know, because I'm looking at him from Stranger Things. I don't know if that's the best casting either. I don't know about that one either. I'll be honest, I don't know about that one. Then Ebon Moss. Let me look him up. It doesn't really matter because he's gonna be the Thing. The Thing is Amanda Rocks. He might not even be in his human form. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. He's going to be the Thing. It doesn't matter. So out of the whole cast, I would only give Vanessa Kirby as like the look for Sue Storm. And that's it. Everybody else is just, it's okay. And that's another thing I miss about like the old school films from back in the day. Like the early 2000s Marvel, like 2010s Marvel and early 2000s and superhero flicks from back in the day. They made such a point to cast actors and actresses that look so much like the comic variation of like who they were, that it mattered so much. And for Disney, it doesn't matter. They'll just cast whoever at this point. They're just filling roles. But I don't own Marvel. I'm not part of that. Okay. So let me continue reading. WandaVision Helmer Matt Shankman is directing Fantastic Four script. It's going to come out July 25th, 2005. Marvel Studios has no comment. While plot details for the film are unknown, all we do know is Garner will play Shalla Bal, the version of Silver Surfer for the comics. And them doing that, of course you're going to have outrage. Of course you're going to have people upset. Because they probably were excited to see a Silver Surfer version and not to see a female version. But Disney is notorious for doing that. For either gender swapping, race swapping, or completely just changing the character's identity. And just, you know, basing a character off someone else like Namor or Namor and completely just changing everything. Garner's star has been on the rise ever since she won her 3 Emmys for playing Ruth on the Netflix crime drama Ozark. So the article just continues talking about what she's done. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what this could be. It could be something. In terms of just her as Shalla Bal, black hair, you get cut, you put on the weight. Like you get cut. You're in the gym. She get cut, she gets black hair. I can see this. But we've never seen Shalla Bal on television. We've never seen her in the cinema. So we don't know exactly what kind of personality she's going to have. We can base some things off of the comic. Like off the comic, from what I've read, is she is deeply in love with Norrian Radd. Like her love, her man is Norrian Radd. Like that is her man. Like Norrian Radd loved her and his planet so much that he opted to be a herald of Galactus to protect his planet. Like, you can't tell me that's not love. So if you're going to have her, Disney hopefully is not going to strip her of like the most important thing that ties her to Silver Surfer, which is her love for Norrian Radd. Like you can't do that. Because they did that with Captain Marvel. For those of you who haven't read Captain Marvel comics, she got her powers from Marvel. The love of her life was Marvel. That was her man. And Disney completely eradicated that love interest and made Captain Marvel his whole identity based off herself. She had no connection to Marvel. So if Disney is really gonna do this, who she is, which is her man, which is Norrian Radd, like you have to include that. Even if it's like maybe from a different universe, it wouldn't make any sense for her not to have a love interest. But I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what Disney's gonna do. They've been stripping away love for a minute. Like ain't nobody got a love interest. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what Disney's doing per se. But I guess we'll find out next year in 2025. I'll stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated on what I find, what articles. what they're releasing, but I've said my piece about the casting for Fantastic Four. Shalla Bal could be something cool. This could be something awesome, dependent on how the writing goes. And also, it's also going to be dependent on how well the writers understand the characters. Because that's all what true Marvel fans want. Like the junky Marvel fans want. They want to see their comic book heroes being portrayed accurately in cinema. They don't want some different version of this person on the screen. They want that person they fell in love with on the comics. So I think it's cool that they're doing this, but at the same time I'm going, I don't know, it's Disney. It makes me so nervous just hearing about this type of stuff, because I'm just going, I hope they don't ruin it. I really don't. But yeah, tell me you guys' thoughts down below. What do you think about Disney doing the Shalla Bal, Silver Surfer? How do you feel about this? Are you still on board with MCU? Do you even care about MCU films anymore? Are you even gonna watch this? I guess that's like the real question. Are you even gonna watch this? Would you pay to even see this in theaters? I don't know, you guys. I truly don't know. But yeah, make sure you follow, like, share, and I will see you back for the next video.